I'm going to show you how to make the viral Dubai Easter egg. Ollie the Choc here. We've all heard about the viral Dubai chocolate bar with that crunchy pistachio awesomeness. How about the viral Dubai Easter egg? I'm going to show you exactly how to make it. You'll find the ingredients on the screen right now. Get ready to screenshot. They're also in the description. So first of all, we're starting with a polycarbonate Easter egg mould. You can get a silicone one, but they're quite flimsy and difficult to work with. So I recommend a plastic polycarbonate. If you can get hold of one of those, you can usually get them online quite easily. So we've got a little bit of gold leaf. Make sure that you get the edible version. This one has got a mind of its own and it will stick to your fingers if your fingers are warm. So you've just got to embrace it, let it go where it wants to go, and just kind of place that on the inside of the mold and it will just stick in there. So I'm just going to randomly do a few little pieces of the gold leaf. This is so effective and satisfying and just gives it that kind of opulent aesthetic. So once we've got that gold leaf in place, I'm going to do a little bit of green chocolate as well. White chocolate can be coloured, of course, any colour you want, but green and pinks tend to be the ones associated with this viral chocolate phenomenon. All right, so we've got a nice bit of gold leaf on the inside of the mould there. We've got a little bit of white chocolate, which is tempered, about 20 grams of white chocolate, and a little bit of cocoa butter based green colour. To put a few little drips of that straight in the white chocolate and just mix it in the bag by just playing around with it. And that'll give us the effective green that we need, which is appropriate for this kunafa in an Easter egg vibe. A Middle Eastern chocolatey treat. So I've cut the very corner of the bag and I'm just going to splash Jackson Pollock style chocolate on the inside of the mould. You can't go wrong. Now, to learn how to temper chocolate, check out my tempering video, but make sure you've got plenty of tempered milk chocolate just to pour on the inside of the mould. I'm going to do one layer and I'm going to roll that around on the inside of the mould so that the chocolate goes over the edge. Nice even thickness of chocolate. I'm going to empty out the excess and just scrape the excess chocolate from around the edges. And then I'm going to put that in the fridge for about 10 minutes so that it solidifies, and then we are ready for our kunafa inside. Now, I've got 3 ingredients for the filling here. So I've got the pistachio cream, tahini, and my kataifi, kadaif, all many different names for this one, but this is the crunchy bit to the kunafa dessert, often used in baklava and Middle Eastern desserts as well. So this is that phyllo pastry, that kind of dried noodle, very much like shredded wheat, which you can also use as an alternative. Tablespoon of tahini. The oil will naturally rise to the top, so I tend to give it a good mix in first. This is sesame paste. So a good tablespoon of the tahini for extra flavour. This is homemade pistachio cream. Now you can buy this in the supermarket as a paste, but I've literally blended olive oil, white chocolate, and fresh pistachio nuts in the blender. The key is to make sure that all the strands are completely covered in the pistachio and the tahini. So So it's a bit like making crispy cakes in this respect. You know, when you have to try and make sure the Rice Krispies are covered in chocolate, we're making sure that the strands are covered in pistachio. This is what's going to give it that ASMR crunch that we've all seen on social media. This is the sort of consistency that we're looking for. Now, once that first layer has completely set, I can then proceed to add our kunafa. This is basically a dessert inside an Easter egg. And the story is, there was a lady who lived in Dubai, and I think this was back in 2001. She had a pregnancy craving for the dessert kunafa, but inside a chocolate bar. So quite a unique craving that she had. And this wasn't available, so I believe she made this as a chocolate bar. But she really started something back then that the world has gone crazy for on social media. And I totally understand why. For me, it's all about the crunch. I love textures in chocolate. Now, we know we can buy this from the supermarket as a chocolate bar, but it's way more fun to make your own, especially as an egg this Easter. So I'm just going round it with the back of the spoon and going all the way round the inside of the egg to make sure that the pistachio reaches the top of the egg on the inside, so it's all completely covered. I'm then going to pop this back in the fridge for a few minutes so that it starts to harden, and then it's ready for another layer of chocolate. So we've got the kunafa hiding inside. That is what we're looking for. We're looking to achieve a nice thick layer of the pistachio on the inside, and that's ready to go in the fridge or freezer for a few minutes just to harden slightly. Now that this has started to set slightly, at least it won't all move around, so I'm going to take a nice big ladle of tempered milk chocolate straight into the egg, and I'm going to roll that around until it completely covers another layer, hiding the kunafa and giving us a nice thick layer of chocolate, but it's sealing it as well. So it's actually keeping that pistachio goodness nice and fresh inside. And it's a nice surprise, whoever snaps it or bites into it. I'm just going to run around it with a palette knife, just making sure I can't see any of the green. It's completely covered. And then this is going back in the fridge to set completely before I put the two halves together. Voila. Once your eggs have set, they will just beautifully release from the mold, like so. And then I've got a little bit of tempered milk chocolate in a piping bag. That is my chocolate glue to stick them together. The great thing with Easter eggs, you can of course hide whatever you want inside it. A toy, maybe like a big Kinder egg, or more chocolate, maybe some shards of my signature salty Holy Grail could go inside, but a little bit of chocolate glue all the way around the edge, like so. And then I'm going to place that straight on top. Now you could go around it with your finger or with a little knife. I've got a tiny little palette knife in this case. And then, very carefully, pop that on here. We have the viral Dubai chocolate Easter egg. Let me know how you get on making the viral Dubai Easter egg. I can't wait to see what you come up with. That's all for now. Peace, love, chock and roll!